बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलामु अलैकुम। कैसे हैं आप? दिस इज लेक्चर नंबर 15. Let's start. So first we take a review of previous lecture. In last lecture we discussed the concept of measures of dispersion, and in particular we discussed two measures of dispersion which are variance and standard deviation. And then we discussed the concept of coefficient of variation, which is used to compare two or more than two variations of two or more than two data sets. And then we discussed some of the useful properties of variance and the standard deviation. And then we also discussed various methods for calculating the variance and standard deviations, coefficient of variations, etc. For the group data as well as for the ungrouped data. So let us discuss the objectives of the current lecture. In this lecture we will introduce you to a new concept which is called the moments, and in particular we will discuss the moments about mean, which are also called central moments, and then we will also discuss the concepts of moments about any arbitrary origin, and then we will also discuss the concepts of moments about zero, or which are also called moments about the origin, where origin is taken as zero. And then we will discuss, we will do certain Excel demos which include estimating these moments in case of group data and in case of ungrouped data. So in the later half of today's lecture we will discuss the concept of relationship between central moments and the moments about origin, and we will also discuss moment ratios, and in particular we will discuss skewness and kurtosis, which are derived which are based on moment ratios. So let's start. So let us first discuss the concept of moments. A moment is a quantitative measure of the shape of a set of data points. The first moment is called arithmetic mean, or simply the mean, which is used to describe the center of the distribution. And the second moment is called the variance, and which measures the spread of all the observations around their central value. So mean measures the center of the distribution, variance measures the spread of all the observations or data points around the central value. And similarly the third, fourth and all higher order moments, they describe certain characteristic of the distribution. So the third moment usually describes how the distribution is skewed from its mean, whether skewed to the right or skewed to the left, or it is symmetrical. Similarly the fourth moment, it is used to describe the peak of the distribution. So it measures the peakedness of the distributions, so the height of the distribution. So similarly the fifth, sixth, seventh moment, they describe certain feature of the distribution. So it means in order to get more information about a certain distribution, we need to know the moments of that particular distribution. So how we can calculate moments? So a moment designates the power to which deviations are raised before averaging them. So remember that the mean is just the sum of values divided by n, where variance is sum of squared deviation divided by n. So it means variance is the second moment, so we have to take the squared deviation. So if we take the third power or cube of the deviations, we get the third moment, we get the fourth power, we get the fourth moment. So a moment, it designates the power to which deviations are raised. So whether the deviations are raised to power 1, which is called the first moment. If the deviations are raised to power 2, then we get second moment. If the deviations are raised to power 3, we get third moment, and so on. And then once the deviations are squared or cube is taken of the deviations, then we have to average them. Average mean sum of the deviations, square deviations or cube deviations, cube of the deviations divided by the number of observations, which is n, to get the moments. So first we define the central or the mean moments. So central moments, they are also called the mean moments. So we will use these two words interchangeably in the forthcoming discussion. So in mean moments, the deviations are taken from the mean. So for ungrouped data, the first population moment about mean is equal to mu1, and it is the deviations of each x value from their mean, where mu is the population mean. So xi minus mu, so it means we are taking deviations from the population mean, and summation xi minus mu, so it means sum of deviations taken from the population mean mu divided by capital N, which is the total number of individuals or observations in the population. So the important point which should be noted is that here the exponent or power of deviation is 1. So that's why it is called the first moment. And since the mean is used, mu is the mean, which is mean of the population, so that's why it is called the population moment. And since mean is subtracted, so it is population moment about the mean. So similarly, second population moment about mean is mu2, and we have to change this exponent from 1 to 2. So similarly, if we want to define the third population moment about mean, that will be mu3, and that will be summation xi minus mu whole cube whole divided by capital N. So in general, the rth population moment about mean is mu r, and it is defined as summation xi minus mu raised to power r whole over n. So if r is 1, so we get summation xi minus mu raised to power 1, so whole over n. So it means if r is 1, we get first population moment, if r is 2, we get second population moment, and if r is 10, we get the 10th population moment about mean. So similarly, we can define the sample moments about mean as well. So first sample moment about mean is usually denoted by m1, and it is obtained by replacing the population mean mu with the sample mean x bar. So it is summation xi minus x bar whole over n. So similarly, second sample moment about mean is m2, which is defined as, which is equal to summation xi minus x bar whole square over n. Similarly, the third sample moment about mean will be m3, which will be summation xi minus x bar whole cube over n. Or in general, we can define the rth sample moment about mean as mr, which is summation xi minus x bar raised to power r over n. So these are the two key formulas, and these are the formula for finding the moments in case of ungrouped data. So now let us discuss the formulas for the grouped data. So rth population moment about mean, it is mu r. So in case of grouped data, we have to multiply these deviations with corresponding frequencies before taking this summation. So it is summation f times xi minus mu whole raised to power r, and since we are taking summation, so I am putting subscript I with f. So either you use subscript to each of these f and x, or you should omit it. So it will be summation fi. So similarly, the rth sample moment about mean is mr, which is defined as summation f times xi minus x bar raised to power r whole over summation f. So you can see that if this r is replaced with 2, so if r is replaced by 2, so then we get mu 2, which is the second population moment about mean, and it is summation f into xi minus mu whole square over summation fi. So it is actually the variance which we discussed in the last lecture. So similarly, the second sample moment about mean is m2, which is summation f into xi minus x bar whole square over summation f, which is again the variance. So it means second moment is variance, and we will discuss what are the third and fourth moments and higher moments are. So now let us discuss an example of calculating central or the mean moments. So example is, calculate first 4 moments about the mean for the following set of examination marks. So these are the marks of 9 students obtained in a certain exam. So marks obtained by first student is 45, second student got 32 marks, and so on. So I have labeled the marks obtained by student as x. So we are interested in calculating first 4 moments about the mean for this data. So in order to calculate the 4 moments, let us move to the MS Excel spreadsheet program. So here is the data in the Excel spreadsheet. So we have the first column labeled as x, which is our data, and it is ungrouped data. So the marks obtained by first student are 45, then second student got 32 marks, and so on. So this is our main data containing marks of 9 students. So we are interested in calculating first 4 moments about mean, which are also called the central moments. So here is the formula M1. So since this is sample data, so we are using notation M1. So if this is the population data, so then we can use the symbol mu1 or mu2 to denote second moment or first moment, for mu1 for first moment, mu2 for second moment, and so on. So look at this formula. M1 is equal to summation xi minus x bar raised to power 1 whole over n, and M2 is the second moment, which is equal to summation xi minus x bar whole square over n. M3 is the third moment, which is summation xi minus x bar whole cube over n, and M4 is the fourth moment, which is summation xi minus x bar raised to power 4 whole divided by n. So you can see that we need to calculate x minus x bar, which is the deviation taken from the x bar or sample mean. So first we need to calculate x bar, and then once we have this x bar in hand, we can subtract this x bar from each of x values to get the deviation x minus x bar, and then we take sum divided and then we will divide this sum by n to get the first moment. Similarly, if we square the deviation before taking sum, and then if we take sum of square deviation and divide this sum by n, we get second moment, and cube of the deviation, sum of cubes of deviation divided by n is the third moment, and sum of fourth power of the deviation divided by n is the fourth moment, and these are the central or mean moments. So first thing which we need to calculate is the arithmetic mean or x bar. So I am redoing all these calculations. So in order to calculate mean, first we need to take sum of these observations. So we can use the sum function, which will add up all these values. So sum of B4 to B12, so press enter. So sum is 360, So in order to calculate mean of this ungrouped data, we will use the formula summation x over n. So summation x is 360, which is located in cell B13, divided by n. N is the total number of observations, and in this case we have 9 students. So B13/9, so press enter, so we get 40. So 40 is the mean or the average value. So x bar is 40. So note that we have calculated this mean by using the formula summation x over n. So Excel has a built-in function for calculating the mean or average value. So the formula is, in order to calculate mean, the formula is the average. So average is a built-in function which gives us the arithmetic mean of the number of observations. So average of all these 9 marks, so B4 to B12. So the answer should be 40, which is summation x over n. So press enter, so you can see that we get the same result, 40. So you can use both methods, summation x over n, or you can use directly the built-in function, which is the average function. So I will prefer in future this average function in order to calculate arithmetic mean. But if you are calculating arithmetic mean by using simple calculator and using your notebook, and if you are not using this Excel, then obviously you need to add up all the values. That is, first you need to calculate summation x, and then you have to divide this sum of x values by the total number of x values. So summation x over n. So once we have this average in hand, so next task is to calculate the deviations. So I have labeled these 4 columns. So first column is x minus x bar. So press an equal sign. So x is B4, the first value of x, minus x bar. So we can use this either this cell, which is B14, or B15. So I am using B15. So x minus x bar. So since we have to subtract this 40, one single number, the same x bar mean, from each of these data points, so I am going to fix it by putting the dollars. So $B, $15. So remember that this dollar is used before the column heading, which is B, and before the row heading, before column number B and before the row number which is 15. So $B, $15. So this will fix the entry in cell B15, and the result will be 45 minus 40. So result will be 5. So just copy it down throughout. So you can see that here B8 minus B15. So it means 39 minus 40, we get -1, and so on. So this is how to calculate the deviations taken from mean or x bar. So if we take look at the first movement formula for the first movement, it is sum of these deviations divided by n. So just here we have the sum formula. So take your mouse cursor to bottom right corner, drag it rightward. So you can see that we get sum of C4 to C12. So press enter. So this sum is 0. And remember that this is one of the properties of the deviation rule. One of the properties that sum of deviations taken from mean is always 0. So x minus x bar, summation x minus x bar, or sum of these deviations, this must be 0 in case of ungrouped data. And in case of grouped data, we will see that summation f times x minus x bar, that must be 0. So because in case of group data, we also have the frequencies as well. So currently this sum must be 0. So this sum is C4 to C12 0. So now I am going to calculate the first movement about mean. So just put an equal sign. So look at the formula. It is summation xi minus x bar, which is calculated in cell C13, divided by n, where n is 9. So C13 divided by n, press enter. So 0 divided by 9 is 0. So the first moment about mean is calculated to be 0. So now look at the second formula for the second moment. It is the square of the deviation, sum of square of the deviation divided by n. So here we need to take square of the deviation. So I have constructed a new column x minus x bar whole square. So it means we need to take square of this 5 here. So just put an equal sign and C4 square. This cap sign is used for the exponent. So C4 cap 2. So this will give us the square of this number 5. So this is the square of the first deviation. So just copy it down throughout. So you can see that square of the last deviation 8 square 64, 1 square 1 minus 4 square plus 16. And then we have to take the sum of these square deviations. So it is sum of D4 to D12. And just divide this sum, which is 232 located in D13 divided by n, where n is 9. So we will get, this will give us the second moment about mean or second central moment. So it is 25.77. And remember that this is the same variance, because second moment is same as variance. Second central moment is the variance. So now in order to calculate the third moment, we need to calculate the cube of the deviations. So just take C4 cube x minus x bar whole cube. So copy this down as well, and then copy this sum command by dragging it horizontally. So sum of E4 to E12. So here, so divide this 186 by 9. So E13 divided by 9, you will get the third central or mean moments. So it is 20.66. So similarly, in order to calculate the fourth moment, so we need to take its fourth power. So C4 raised to power 4. So 5 raised to power 4, it is 625. Copy it down and calculate the sum as well. So summation x minus x bar raised to power 4. So sum of F4 to F12. So now here just take this summation which is located in F13. So sum of x minus x bar whole power 4 divided by n, where n is the total number of observations. So currently we have 9 data points, so n is 9. So this divided by 9, so it is 1189.77. So this is how we can use MS Excel to calculate first 4 moments in case of ungrouped data. So next we discuss how we can use MS Excel to calculate moments about mean for the grouped data. So here is the group data. So we have the frequency distribution of the weights of different students, weights in grams. So there are 9 students having weight from 65 grams to 84 grams. There are 10 students having weight from 85 grams to 104 grams, and so on. In the end, we have 5 students whose weight is from 185 grams to 204 grams. So we are interested in calculating first 4 moments about mean or first 4 central moments for this frequency distribution or for this grouped data. So I have written this weights in this form in 2 columns. So first column containing lower class limits 65, 85, 105 and so on, and the second column is labeled as upper class limit, so 84, 104 and so on. So and in next column we have the frequencies. So I have split it the observations into 2. I have put the observations into 2 different columns. Why? Because in order to calculate this midpoint, we can easily use Excel sum function to sum these observations. Otherwise, it is very burdensome to calculate sum of these two numbers without using their cell references. So this way I will use the cell reference, and this will make our job easy. So that is why I have created two columns, one for lower class limit and second for the upper class limit. So this is our main frequency distribution, or we can skip the first column now. So this is our main frequency distribution. We are interested in calculating first four mean movements or first four central movements. So here are the formulas for the first four movements. So M1 is summation f times x minus x bar whole over summation f, and then M2 is summation f times the square deviation whole over summation f. Then we have raised to power 3 for third movement. For fourth, we have the deviation raised to power 4. So in all these formulas, the f is the frequency and x is the midpoint. So xi is the corresponding midpoint, fi is the corresponding frequency, or frequency of the ith class, and the midpoint or class mark of the ith class, and x bar is the sample mean. And remember that x bar is it will be calculated by summation fx divided by summation f. Why? Because we are using grouped data. So in order to calculate these deviations, first we need this number x bar, and then we will subtract this x bar from each of x values to get the deviations. So in order to calculate x bar, the formula for group data is, in case of group data, for calculating x bar is summation fx divided by summation f. So it means we need to calculate x, which is the midpoint. So I am removing all these columns and I will calculate it again. So in order to calculate mean, we need the midpoint. So midpoint is the sum of lower and the upper limit. So sum of the numbers in P4 and Q4 divided by 2. So I have used the parentheses because I want that Excel should add up these two numbers P4 and Q4 first, and then divide this sum by 2. So this is 74.5. We can copy it down. So these are the midpoints. And next, in order to calculate mean, we need fx, the new column. So f steric x. So f is located in R4 and x is located in S4. So R4 times S4. Press enter, we get 670. Copy it down as well. So we get fx. So here use the sum command. So sum of T4 to T10. So it will give us the sum of this column fx. So we will get summation fx. So this is summation fx, and here we already have the sum command, which is sum of R4 to R10, which is summation f, sum of all the frequencies. So once we have these two numbers, summation fx and summation f, we can calculate arithmetic mean. This is calculated by dividing this summation fx, sum of fx, with summation f, which is 60. So T11 divided by R11. So pressing enter, we get arithmetic mean or x bar. So it is 122.5. So once we have this x bar in hand, we can calculate the deviations, x minus x bar, and then we will take calculate square of deviation, then cube, and then fourth power of the deviations. So in order to calculate deviations, so subtract this x bar, which is 122.5, from each of the x values, and remember that x's are the midpoints. So here construct a new column, x minus x bar. So put an equal sign, and then this x value which is the first value in this column labeled as midpoint. So x, which is S4, minus x bar is the mean, which is here 122.5, and it is located in P14. And remember that we have to put dollar sign to keep this entry fixed. So dollar before the row number, before the column heading, dollar $P, and dollar before the row name as well. So dollar $P, $14. So S4 minus this, so this will give us x minus x bar. Press enter. So 74.5 minus 122.5, we get minus 48. So copy it down. So we get again 94.5 minus 122.5, and so on. So these are the deviations. So now look at the formula. We have to multiply this x minus x bar with f. So here I have constructed a new column labeled as f times x minus x bar. So put an equal sign. So f is in R4 steric for multiplication times x minus x bar, which is located here in U4. So R4 steric U4. So you will get f times x minus x bar. Press enter. So the result is minus 432. Copy it down as well. So remember that since we are dealing with grouped data in this case, so this summation f times x minus x bar, this must be 0. So before moving forward, let us check whether the sum of this column is 0 or not. If it is 0, then you are doing all your calculations in the right way. But if it is different from 0, then you need to cross check all your calculations. Then it means you did certain type of mistake. So let us calculate this sum. So sum of V4 to V10, press enter. So it is 0. So this is the checkpoint. So it means at this, up to this point, we have done all the calculations correctly. So once we have this f into x minus x bar, this sum, so look at the first, look at the formula for the first movement about mean, or the first central movement. It is sum of f into x minus x bar. So sum of this column, which is 0, divided by summation f, which is sum of frequencies, 60 in this case. So in order to calculate first movement, so just divide this 0 by 60, we will get first central movement. So here just put an equal sign. So this number divided by this summation f, so it is V11 slash R11. So 0 divided by 60, it will be 0. So this is our first central movement. So now look at the formula for the second central movement. For second central movement, we have summation f into x minus x bar square, our summation f. So it means first we need to find the square of the deviations, then we have to multiply the square deviation with f, and in the end we need to take the summation of this product. So I have labeled, constructed a new column labeled as the square deviation taken from mean, or x minus x bar whole square. So calculate it by squaring this x minus x bar. It means U4 square. So this will square the entry located in U4. Press enter, you will get this 40 minus 48 square, which is 2304. Copy it down, and next multiply the frequencies with this squared deviation. So f times x minus x bar square, f is located in R4 steric, the square deviation, which is now in W4. Press enter, copy it down as well, and now calculate the sum of this column, sum of all these numbers which are located in this column. So this will give us summation f times x minus x bar whole square. So it is sum of x4 to x10. So press enter. So summation f into x minus x bar whole square is 72960. So if we divide this number with summation f, we get the second central moment or second moment about mean for this frequency distribution. So I am just going to divide this number with summation f, which is 60. So here just put an equal sign. So here just put an equal sign and choose this number, which is sum of this f times x minus x bar square slash summation f, which is 60. So x11 divided by r11. So this will give us a second central moment. So it is 1216. So now we move to the calculation of third moment. So it is for this we need to take cube of the deviations taken from mean, and then we have to multiply these deviations with f, and then we have to take sum. So here construct one more column, which is x minus x bar whole cube. So put an equal sign. Here we have x minus x bar in u4, the first value, and take its cube. So u4 cube, press enter and copy it down. So these are the cubes, and in next column we have to multiply x minus x bar cube with f in order to get f times x minus x bar whole cube. So put an equal sign. So f is located in R4, steric x minus x bar cube, which is in Y4. So R4 steric Y4. So press enter. So now copy it down throughout. So these are the f times x minus x bar cube. So next add up all these entries. So in order to find the sum, we can use again the Excel built-in function, which is the sum function. So in order to calculate the sum function, just put an equal sign here at the end. So sum of all these numbers. So sum of z4 to z10. So this will give us summation f times x minus x bar whole cube. So once we have summation f into x minus x bar whole cube, so we will divide this sum with summation f60 to get the third central moment. So here I am going to calculate it. So just put an equal sign and select this number, which is in Z11, put slash and then this summation f, which is in R11. So once we have these two numbers, you can press enter to get the result. So press enter. So the third central moment or mean moment is 23104. So now in order to calculate the fourth moment, we need to calculate the fourth power of the deviations, and then we have to multiply it the deviations with f, and then we have to take the sum, and in the end we have to divide this sum of f times x minus x bar raised to power 4 with summation f. So for this purpose I have constructed one more column, x minus x bar raised to power 4. So here we have x minus x bar, so raised to power 4, press enter, copy it down throughout, and then here multiply f times this number. So f is located in R4 times x minus x bar whole raised to power 4, so which is in AA4. So just press enter, drag it down, copy it down by dragging it. So this these are our required numbers, and then use the sum functions to get sum of these entries. So sum of AB4 to AB10, press enter. So this is summation f into x minus x bar whole raised to power 4. So divide this sum by summation f, which is 60 here, to get the fourth central moment. So here just put an equal sign and then select this cell containing the total, this number, which is 2230 57920. Since we have taken the fourth power, so that's why it is a very big number. So this divided by summation f, which is 60. So AB11 divided by R11. So press enter. So this gives us the fourth mean or central moment. So this is how we can use MS Excel to calculate the central moments about the central moments are moments about mean for the grouped data as well as for the ungrouped data. So next we discuss the moments about any arbitrary origin. So if the deviations are taken from some arbitrary number, suppose a, where a is any constant, so this a arbitrary number is called the origin. So instead of subtracting x bar from each x values, if we subtract this number a to find the deviations, so it means now the deviations are taken from instead of from mean, they will be taken from this number a. So that's why the moments which are calculated in this manner, they are called moments about origin instead of moments about mean. So if the deviations are taken from some arbitrary number a, which is called origin, so then the moments are called moments about arbitrary origin. So for ungrouped data, the formula for calculating the rth population moment about origin a is mu dash r. So instead of using mu r, which is used for the moments about mean, so now we need to use the dash as well. So mu dash r, it is equal to summation xi minus a whole raised to power r divided by n. So note that here we are subtracting a from each of the number. So instead of x bar, so a is called a is taken to be any arbitrary origin or central value instead of x bar. So similarly, r sample moment about origin a can be defined as m dash r, it is summation xi minus a whole raised to power r divided by n. Note that x bar is the central value, where this a can be any value, it can be central value. In that case, these moments of origin will be same as the moments of mean and moments about mean, and if a is different from x bar, so then they will be called moments about that particular value or moments about origin a, where a can be 2, 3, it can be a positive number, it can be a negative number. So similarly, we can define the moments about origin for the grouped data. So formula is the rth population moment about origin a is mu dash r, it is summation f times xi minus a raised to power r divided by summation f, and rth sample moment about origin a is m dash r is equal to summation f times xi minus a raised to power r whole over summation f. So formula, the structure of the formulas are same, except that we have replaced x bar with this arbitrary origin a. So now we define the moments about 0. If the origin is taken as 0, that is if a is taken to be 0, so then moments are called moments about 0. So in case of ungrouped data, it is calculated as rth population movement about 0 is mu dash r. This is summation x minus a, so just replace a by 0. So it will be summation x minus 0 raised to power r whole over n, or xi minus 0 is actually xi, so we can write it as summation xi raised to power r over n, or we can further simplify it as summation xi raised to power r over n. So there is no need to use the parenthesis as well. So similarly, the rth sample moment about 0 is m dash r. This is equal to summation xi minus 0 because a is 0 whole raised to power r divided by n, and we can write it as summation xi raised to power r because xi minus 0 is xi whole over n, or we can write it as without parenthesis xi raised to power r over n. So similarly, in case of grouped data, the rth population movement about 0 is mu dash r. It is summation f into xi minus 0 raised to power r over summation f, or we can write it as summation f into xi raised to power r whole over summation f, or we can write it as xi r over summation f. Similarly, the rth sample moment about mean is equal to m dash r, which is summation f times xi raised to power r over summation f. So these are the formula for the movements about 0 or movements about origin. So let us look at these formulas more closely. So if we replace this r by 1, so it will give us first population movement, so mu dash 1. So mu dash 1 will be summation xi raised to power 1, so it means summation xi over n. So we can write it as, so mu 1, which is first population movement about 0, it will be summation xi over n, or it is same as arithmetic mean. And if we have r is 2, so mu dash 2, it will be summation x square over n. Remember that we have to use capital N because we are dealing with population movements. And similarly, mu 3, the third movement will be x summation x cube over n, and the fourth movement will be, and we have to use the dash as well. So it is summation x I raised to power 4 whole over n. So similarly, we can write formulas for the grouped data. So in case of grouped data, just replace this r by 1, so we can get mu 1 dash, it is summation f I xi raised to power 1 our summation f. So this is again same mean, and mu 2 dash is summation f into x square our summation f, and mu 3 dash is summation f x cube our summation f, and mu 4 dash is summation fx4 whole over summation f. So this is how we can we can find the first 4 movements about mean for the ungrouped data as well as for the grouped data. Similarly, we can write the formulas for the first 4 sample movements about 0, and in case of grouped data as well as in case of ungrouped data. So in case of ungrouped data, the sample movements will be m dash 1. Instead of mu 1, we will write m dash 1, and we have to replace this big N with small n, which denotes the sample size. And similarly, in case of group data, this mu 1 should be replaced with m1 dash, mu1 dash should be replaced with m1 dash, mu2 dash should be replaced with m2 dash, and so on. So next we consider an example on calculating the moments about 0. So calculate first 4 moments about 0 where 0 is taken as origin for the following set of examination marks obtained by 9 students. So this is the same data which we are using, which we have used in order to calculate first 4 moments about mean previously. So now we want to calculate the first 4 moments about 0. So again, for solution, move to the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet program. So here is the data in Microsoft Excel spreadsheet program. So it is ungrouped data. I have labeled the data as X, containing marks obtained by 9 students in a certain examination. So first student got 45 marks, the second student got 32 marks, and so on. The last one got 36 marks. So we are interested in calculating moments about origin 0. Moments about 0. So here are the formulas. So m1 dash is summation xi over n, m2 dash is summation xi square over n, m3 dash is summation xi cube over n, m4 dash is summation xi 4 over n. And note that here I have not used the range of this I below the summation and above the summation. Why? Because this formula is very simple to use. So now in order to calculate these 4 moments about 0, we need to calculate summation xi, and then we have to divide this sum with n. So in order to calculate this summation I, we need to use Excel built-in sum function. So just put an equal sign and then write sum of B4 to B12. So this will give us summation x. So press enter, we get 360. So once we have this summation xi, which is 360, we need to divide this summation xi by n. So put an equal sign. So this divided by n, which is 9. So B13 divided by 9, we will get first moment about 0. So it is 40. Or alternatively, we can write, we can use the average function, because this summation x over n, it is the average of x values. So you can use the average of all these numbers. So average of numbers located in B4 to B12. Press enter. So the result is same. So now in order to calculate second moment about origin, which is summation xi square divided by n, we need to calculate x square. So here find square of this first number B4 square. Press enter, copy it down, and then copy this sum command. So sum of C4 to C12. So it is 14632. So in order to calculate the second moment, we can use this summation x square divided by 9, which is n. Press enter. So the second moment about 0 is 1625.77. Or alternatively, we can use again the average command. So but this time we need to take the average of the square entries. So sum of x square divided by n. So it means here we need to select the numbers in column x square. So average of C4 to C12. Press enter. So you can see that the result is same. So in next case, in order to calculate third moment about origin, we need to calculate summation xi cube. So construct a new column xi cube. So B4 raised to power 3. So this will calculate cube of 45, copy it down as well, then copy the sum command rightward. So you can see that we get sum of D4 to D12. So this is summation xi cube. So once we have this summation, so just put an equal sign, use this number which is summation xi cube slash n, n is 9 in this case. So we get summation xi cube over n. So this gives us the third moment about 0. Or alternatively, we can use the average built-in function of MS Excel, and this time we need to take average of this xi cube. So average of these numbers in x cube. So it is average of D4 to D12. Press enter. So you can see that we got the same result as by using the summation xi cube over n, which is 9 in this case. So in order to calculate the fourth moment about 0, we need to calculate xi4, and then we need to calculate its sum, which will be summation xi4, and then we will divide this sum by n, which is the total number of observations. So here I have constructed a new column, labeled it as x4. So put an equal sign and then b4 raised to power 4, press enter, and then copy it down as well, and then copy this sum command horizontally in order to calculate the sum of the entries in this column. So sum of E4 to E12. So this gives us summation xi4. So once we have this summation xi4, we can use this formula to calculate the fourth moment about 0. So just put an equal sign and then choose this cell which is equal sign, choose this cell which is E13, then slash n, where n is the total number of observations, and in this case we have 9 students. So press enter. So we get 2811963.11, or alternatively we can calculate the average of this column, average of xi4. So average of the entries starting from E4 to E12, press enter. So the result is same. So this is how we can use MS Excel to calculate the first 4 moments about 0 for the ungrouped data. So now we consider an example of calculating first 4 moments about 0 for the grouped data. So here is the frequency distribution of weights of the students in grams. So there are 9 students having weight from 65 grams to 84 grams and so on. So we want to calculate first 4 moments about 0. So I have shifted this data here again, and I have created a new column and labeled it as lower class limit, where I put the lower class limits of each class in this column. So 65, 85, 105 and so on. So in the next column I have replaced the upper class limits, which are 84, 104 and so on. So we have the lower class limits and the upper class limits, and next column we have the frequencies. So actually these 3 columns, they give us the whole frequency distribution. So column O, P and Q containing the lower and upper class limits and the corresponding frequencies. So we are interested in calculating first 4 moments about origin, first 4 moments about origin, where origin is taken as 0. So this is also called first 4 moments about 0. So here are the formulas for the first 4 moments. So m1 dash is equal to summation fixi whole over summation fi, or we can omit the subscript summation fx over summation f. Remember that either put subscript to each of these f and x, or you should omit it. So similarly the second moment about 0 is m2 dash, which is summation fi xi square whole over summation fi, and the third moment is m3 dash, which is summation fi xi cube whole over summation fi, and the fourth one is m4 dash, which is summation fi xi raised to power 4 whole over summation fi. So in order to calculate the first moment about mean, we need to calculate this x, where x is the midpoint, and then we have to multiply this x with f, and then we have to find this summation fx. So first I have, let me do it once again. So I have created here a column labeled x. So in order to calculate the midpoints, we can add the lower limit to the with the upper limit. So O4 plus P4 divided by 2. So this will give us the midpoint 74.5, which is sum of these two numbers 65 plus 84 divided by 2. So copy it down. So we get x. So look at the formula of the first moment. We have to multiply this x with f. So construct a new column, labeled it as fx. So put an equal sign. So f times x, so q4 times r4. Press enter, copy it down. So this is fx. So now use the sum function to calculate sum of the entries in this column. So this will give us summation fx. And remember that in this first formula, m1 dash is equal to summation fx divided by summation f. So press enter. So summation fx is 7350, and summation f is already calculated to be by using this sum formula, which is sum of q4 to q10. Pressing enter, we get 60. So in order to calculate this first moment about 0, so divide this summation fx by summation f, which is obtained by using this formula S11 slash Q11. So pressing enter, so the mean is first moment about 0 is 122.5, and remember that the same formula is used for mean, so we can say that the same is our mean. So this is optional, there is no need of calculating it, but in order to explain it, that the same formula is mean. So in order to calculate m2 dash, we need to first square the x entries, and then we have to multiply this x square with f, and then we need to add up to get summation fx square. So construct a new column, labeled it as x square, and it will contain the square of the x entries, numbers in a column x. So r4 square. Press enter, copy it down, and then put an equal sign, multiply f with x square to get f times x square. So q4 steric t4. So press enter, copy it down as well. So we calculated fx square. So now take summation to get summation fx square. So put an equal sign and use the sum function. So sum of u4 to u10, press enter. So this is summation fx square. So put an equal sign. So summation fx square divided by summation f, which is 60. So u11 divided by q11. Pressing enter, we get the second moment about 0. So in order to calculate third moment about 0, we need to take cube of x, and then we have to multiply f with x cube. So construct two columns, one x cube and next f times x cube. So put an equal sign, select x, then take its cube. So r4 cube, copy it down. Then in order to calculate f times x cube, put an equal sign and then multiply this f, which is located in q4, times x cube, which is calculated here in v4. So Q4 times V4, press enter and then copy it down as well. So in order to calculate summation f times x cube, use the sum function. So it is sum of W4 to W10, press enter. So we get summation f into x cube. So now in order to calculate this number, so we have to divide this summation f into x cube by summation f, which is in Q11. So W11 slash Q11. So we will get the third moment about 0. Pressing enter, we get this result. So now in order to calculate the fourth moment about 0, we need to calculate x4 first, and then we have to multiply it with f, and then we need to calculate summation fixi4 whole divided by summation f. So construct two new columns, label the first column as x raised to power 4 and next column as f times x raised to power 4. So put an equal sign. Here is x in R4, take its fourth power. So R4 raised to power 4, press enter and then copy it down, and in the next column multiply this f, which is in Q4, with this x4. So Q4 steric x4, press enter, copy it down as well. So here is the numbers for f times x4. Then use the Excel sum functions to calculate summation f into x4. So sum of all the entries in this column, so sum of y4 to y10. Pressing enter, we get this very big number. So now divide this summation f times x4 with summation f, which is 60, in order to get the fourth moment about 0. So here put an equal sign and then select this number and then put slash and then this number. So y11 divided by q11. So this will give us the fourth moment about 0. So these are the first four moments about 0. So this is how we can use MS Excel to calculate moments about 0 for the grouped data as well as for the ungrouped data. Let us review the main concepts which we have discussed in today's lecture. In today's lecture, I have introduced you to the concept of moments, and in particular we discussed moments about mean, which are also called central moments or the mean moments, and moments about any arbitrary origin A, and the moments about 0, and we did related Excel demos where we demonstrated that how we can use MS Excel spreadsheet program to calculate moments about mean and moments about 0 for the grouped data and for the ungrouped data. So in next lecture, our focus will be on the relationship between central moments and the moments about origin. So if we know the central moments, we can find the moments about origin, and if we have or if we know the moments about origin, we can calculate central moments. So then we will also discuss the moment ratios, and we will also discuss the concepts of skewness and the kurtosis, and then we will also discuss how the knowledge of movements help in describing the shape or overall characteristics of a particular distribution. So till then, Allah Hafiz.